Please start.
Very good evening to each one of you on behalf of International Internship University, all the viewers, as well as the panelists. I, Dr. Shivani Sahni, would be moderating today's session. I would like to first share something about the International Internship University, which is a leading virtual education system and a global brand confederation and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. IIU is committed to providing highest quality education to all its learners across the globe, regardless of social or economic backgrounds. IIU is providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internships to their e-learners across the globe with the help of its committed, experienced, and high caliber global educators. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and an inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various school, social and cultural backgrounds. Piyush Pandit Sir has publicized the World Education Policy, that is WEP, which means one education, one foundation, and one world. IIU has taken the initiative to reach every learner in rural as well as urban areas through the Vidyanjali project, an initiative by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, to provide higher education as well as vocational training along with the internship opportunities. IIU is the revolution in education. Today, our topic is National Education Policy, that is professional education. Professional education is a formal specialized training which is about a particular profession in which learners are taught the central concepts, the principles and techniques, and also how these are applied in real practice, and the learners also acquire the necessary competencies needed for proper practice and behavior. So here I would now like to introduce the 2 speakers, Rajendra Prasad ji and Dr. Malakappa, and our third very important speaker, Ravi Kumar ji. Starting with Mr. Rajendra Prasad, he is a founder principal with Smart Modern School, which is in Tirupur, Tamil Nadu. He is a founder school principal since last 1 decade with a total of 3 decades of vibrant experience. He is a triple graduate and also trained in educational leadership, biology teacher and zoology lecturer for many years. He has taught more than 5,000 students and schooled more than 15,000 school children as school principal. He has influenced hundreds of teachers for teacher leadership and has mentored tens of senior teachers to become principal. Teacher trainer and conducts edu webinars. He authored 3 books in zoology for competitive exams. He is also an executive board member of 2 CBSE Sahodyas. Spearheaded Principals Confluence as Vice President of Kowai Sahodya. He is member in school management committees of 4 reputed schools associated with international educational forums. He has attended more than 20 national and international educational conferences. He has also received many awards and accolades from various educational fraternities. He is now leading the ICEE for its holistic service provider for school education as a managing director. He has been president of Private Schools Principals Association, PSPA. Mr. Rajendra Prasad is no less than an institution himself. I hereby welcome Prasad ji to please share his brief note on the objectives of professional education, highlights about NEP that talks about the professional education, its foundations, issues and challenges that he is encountering, and some possible solutions for the same. Over to you, Rajendra Prasad ji.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shivani. And thank you, Dr. Ravikumar sir, Dr. Stigna madam, and especially the kingpin of the IIU, Dr. Piyush. Very grateful to all the dignitaries of the webinar today and also the viewers across and all those who are behind the webinar management also. Grateful to all of you and for this opportunity. I will try to give my inputs, whatever I feel suitable for this use webinar. I divide this topic into few areas like, as mentioned by Dr. Shivani, the professional education as a definition and also why the PE is required and what is the status of it, objectives of the PE, significance in a short note of 2 to 3 minutes, and then I will get into the other details of the NEP highlights, and then the issues and challenges, and then the comparison in few countries, and then possible solutions. As mentioned by Dr. Shivani in the initial words, it is the combination of the professional education is a combination of mainly 3 areas: the technical knowledge, the skill, and also the industry requirement. If these 3 are not matching with, there is no professional education. Sometimes if any of these 3 are missing, it is a mismatch and the professional education becomes unprofessional. Second point is why the professional education is required. Here, all of us may be knowing about the different countries which are very strong in certain areas of professional education. If you look at Germany, Canada, Japan, South Korea, China, USA, UK, these are very strong countries in some of these professional education areas, vocational education. In India, we have a difference between the vocational education and the professional education. The common difference between these two, a simple difference between these two, we have the BTech example, BTech or the BArc, etc. under the professional education examples. Mainly we have theory and practicals there. It is more extensive study. And there are specific jobs based on the professional education like BTech or MTech and so on. Whereas vocational courses, the theory is less, practicals are more. And thereby, they are exclusively having some kind of special skills on which they have been trained for longer time. And these are called as vocational courses, and they are in the name of ITI, Polytechnics, ATI, and so on. But there is a mismatch in the stakeholders. I don't blame any other organization there, but the vocational courses completing students are seen as they are not very bright students, so they have chosen and they have been taken there. So there is a kind of dishonor or disrespect on the vocational course opted students. And what is the objective of this professional education? Why is it important? And then significance. It involves or it integrates the knowledge, skill, the values, and the discipline they are choosing. Unless these 3 are incorporated, somewhere, sometimes we are missing the values of the profession or the professional practice or the course. And thereby, the outcome of the course, somewhere it is missing. So the objective as emphasized in the professional education in NEP 2020 under the chapter 20, now they are coming out with beautiful jargon they have given. We expect that by the end of this year, we may get the curriculum also out through AICTE or UGC and so on. Once if the curriculum is in hand, we will come to know exactly where are we directed to, and definitely we will be given a bright path on this. And where is the significance of this professional education? This should not happen, as mentioned in the first paragraph of the NEP 2020 under Chapter 20. There should not be any isolation for the professional education. And also, there should be multidisciplinary institutions or the present and existing universe should be also associating with these kind of courses. And also, the general and the professional courses should be merged with. I think, as mentioned there, by 2030, we may come out with very exclusive and exuberant such colleges, such universities across. And mainly, as mentioned there, in the professional education, agriculture, veterinary sciences, legal education, healthcare, technical education. Just briefly, I touch upon, I don't go deeper into that. In these areas, already we are having some kind of courses at the colleges and so on. But somewhere, these are not completely filling or glorified courses as we have the IIT, NIT, MBBS, and so on. Just to give a simple example there, every year the IIT examination is written by more than 14 lakhs of students for hardly 16,000 plus seats only. 14 lakh students for 16,000 seats. And MBBS, we have around hardly 1.70,000 seats. Even there also we are getting the students for 15 lakh students. Whereas for these professional courses, we find it very difficult. I will come to that point again. This agriculture, legal education, healthcare, technical education, which are highly mentioned in the professional education. They have highlighted on that these courses, these professions should be and planned in association with the accessory courses also. That is like IT enabled courses, agriculture enabled courses, legal education enabled courses, healthcare enabled courses, in the same way technical education. Law can be in the bilingual mother tongue also and the English language. Local and global can be connected with the legal courses. There should be short and long-term courses also. Local knowledge, traditional knowledge, and emerging technologies can be also merged in the agriculture. Even law, we have seen recently in the Corona time, how even the courts have opened online, which was never seen before. Healthcare education. Even there also, multi-health centers may be possible by 2030. That allopathy, now Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, these are separate now. They are separate courses and they are having separate clinics. But in future, as emphasized by the NEP 2020, there is a possibility that we may have that multi-purpose centers or multi-health centers where all these are also a part of it. Preventive healthcare and also communicative medicine. These may also be made as more professional courses like MBBS. Technical education. This is where AICTE has been the authority, but now because of this NEP 2020, we may have some other bodies also which will be guiding and modifying the courses. Here we are suffering and also lacking certain exposure. I give an example here that even in engineering also, all of us know which branch they have taken, whether it is civil engineering, mechanical engineering, or electronics, etc. Even in the branches also, sometimes they feel, oh, this is lesser quality, this is higher importance based on the package they will get. So within the course also, there is a disparity. And when you look at the other courses, they are given minute importance. Hotel management, catering technology, etc. There should be an addition of the recent developments in the technology like artificial intelligence, 3D machining, big data analysis, blockchain, mechanical. All these can be incorporated in the coming years in these courses. I wish that if these are coming out in a very beautiful way, definitely the glory what we are seeing today with NEET, IIT examinations in future, we may have these institutions also very attractive, lucrative also. We wish that. Here, let me give another example of China and also South Korea. China recently in 2020, they have released a new vocational education policy. China is the world's largest vocational education system. Can you imagine how many vocational schools are there in China? There are 12,000 schools in China, 12,000 schools. In India, we have only 5,000. 50 lakh students are coming out every year from these vocational schools in China. And I did not believe the figure. 10 million graduates are coming out in 1 year from these vocational colleges. Unbelievable. Whereas in South Korea, the system is slightly, they have modified. Elementary school, it is common as 1 to 6. Junior high school is 7, 8, 9. Whereas vocational courses, it is in 2 bifurcations. General bifurcation for the senior high school, at the same time, vocational senior high school, 10, 11, 12. After that, they have 4-year degree and 2-year PG. In these vocational or general, vocational senior high school is also given the same importance as the normal or the general high school also. Whereas in India, we don't have that kind of connection. This is where South Korea and China, they are dominating in the small scale industry or MSMEs. If you look at, because of the global economic policy, every product can go to any country. Now China products are more in number in India because of that. And the production in the country is cheaper and they have more such kind of force. You look at these, in the last 25 years only, these schools have increased in number, 12,000 schools, vocational schools. Whereas in India, we have very less. We have 2,500 engineering colleges, 1,400 polytechnics, 200 schools of planning and architecture. 15 lakh students are coming in a year. Don't ask me, where are they going finally? Are they employed? ITIs, Industrial Training Institute in India, we have only 14,000. That is government and also private. We are getting 19 lakh students out of this. Vocational colleges, we have only 5,000 in India. Vocational colleges, only 5,000. Hardly we get 5 lakh students in a year because they are not getting a right employment. Neither government nor the private organizations are not making these vocational courses or connecting with the professional courses and merging with them. As this is not happening, so these are given like a second grade courses. Issues and challenges when you look at them, 2 important areas. Professional courses, these are, some of them are getting the employment, but many of them not getting the employment. BTech graduates, how many are coming out, how many are employed? And where are they going finally? Whereas vocational courses, if you are encouraging them, if you are merging with the professional courses in future, there is no such clarity in the NEP 2020. To my knowledge, please correct me if I am wrong, Dr. Ravikumar sir. And in future, if it is possible, these two, mainly the mindset of the stakeholders should be changed first. Social, if the student is MBBS or IIT, there is a reputation for the parent also, for the student also. If it is an ITI, student and the parent is degraded. That is main issue and the challenge. Looking at the possible solutions from my side, I propose with my little knowledge that merging of the vocational courses along with the professional courses and universities should be made very specifically about these, like special course on the ITI or the ATI, etc. Based on that only we need the universities. Then only these courses are glorified. How MBBS and the IIT is glorified right now. In the last 30 years, it has become an industry, coaching industry. Whereas vocational courses and professional colleges, these two are not merged. When these two are merged, when we are giving the equal importance for them, I hope definitely there will be great future for India in the MSc MBA sector. We can compete with China and Korea. Special universities on these areas, multi-purpose colleges, job opportunities specifically at the industry connect for ITI or vocational course or anything. If there is an industry connect, immediately they will be placed. Then, as I mentioned earlier, there will be definite glorification of these courses, and the professional education will really flourish in the future. I wish that NEP 2020, what I have emphasized, will come out with beautiful curriculum and also beautiful courses to the universities. With this, I conclude my short note and then open to Shivani Madam.
Thank you so much for bringing in such key points and very, very valid, pertinent suggestion points, Prasad sir. In fact, I would like to just reiterate a few key points that sir has mentioned here. Starting with the first one, no isolation for professional courses rather than the colleges must become multidisciplinary in nature. IIT exams where the students up to 14 lakh are appearing for as low as 16,000 seats, and for medicine around 15 lakh students. This needs to be really looked into. Multiple long-term and short-term professional education courses must be introduced. AICTE will be taken over by other competent authorities. IT-enabled courses must be introduced. China, which has about 12,000 schools as compared to 5,000 vocational schools in India. So our focus needs to be laid on adding more such schools. This is the reason why China and South Korea lead in MSMEs, providing cheaper products all across the globe. The mismatch between the employability skills and the professional courses is leading to the unemployability. This needs to be bridged at the earliest. The two pertinent suggestions that I really loved noting down that Mr. Prasad has mentioned is matching of vocational courses with the professional courses. I'm sure once this is done with all due diligence, we will be able to offer larger scale of employability to our youth and connection with the industry. Again, a very, very pertinent point raised by sir. Thank you so very much, Prasad sir. This was really wonderful, listening to you. And I'm sure it is an eye-opener for all of us here.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Let me just see if Mr. Malakappa has joined. Mr. Malakappa, are you there with us?
Yeah, he is there, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So
good evening, Malakappa sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening,
good
Malakappa
evening,
sir.
good evening, sir. Mr. Malakappa, his other name is Mahesh, and he is a Hindi and Kannada language teacher. CB Bhandari Jain Hind High School, Bangalore, Karnataka. So he is associated with a Jain High School, and he likes to work in education, training, development, specifically into child development, and also works as a social worker. So a very warm welcome, Dr. Malakappa. Dr. Malakappa is going to address us in Hindi language because he is a passionate Hindi language teacher. So आपका बहुत बहुत हार्दिक अभिनंदन है डॉक्टर मलकप्पा. मैं पूरी कोशिश करूंगी कि आपके साथ हिंदी में बातचीत करने में पूरी तरह से सही हिंदी का प्रयोग करूं. पर कहीं पर भी अगर मैं अटकती हूं तो मैं भी आपका एक स्टूडेंट बनने के लिए पूरी तरह से तैयार हूं. तो डॉक्टर मलकप्पा, आप प्लीज अपने जो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के तहत हम प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, उसके बारे में शिक्षकों का क्या योगदान रहना चाहिए, उसके बारे में आप प्लीज हमारे साथ अपने विचार साझा कीजिए। और मैं जरूर ये जानना चाहूंगी कि प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन को हिंदी में क्या कहेंगे हम, वहां मैं थोड़ा अटक रही हूँ।
जरूर मैडम, जरूर मैडम। सबसे पहले मंच को नमन करते हुए आज नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 यानी कि इस अमृत महोत्सव के वक्त में मुझे इस अवसर पर इस कार्यक्रम यानी कि प्रोग्राम में भाग लेने के लिए मुझे अवसर दिया है। डॉक्टर शिवानी मैडम और प्रसाद सर और कोयल सर को सबको नमन करते हुए मैं अपने विचार को यहाँ पे रखता हूँ। मेरा व्यावसायिक शिक्षण, वोकेशनल एजुकेशन, इसके बारे में मुझे कुछ विचारों को आपके सामने आदान प्रदान करना चाहता हूँ। तो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा आधुनिक युग की नई मांग। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा बोले तो आधुनिक युग की नई मांग है। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा के महत्व को ध्यान में रखने हुए राष्ट्रीय पाठ्यक्रम संरचना यानी कि 2500 NCF में भी सीमित किया गया था। वर्तमान में उसे शिक्षा को गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा का स्थान दिया जाता है, जो छात्रों को जीविकोपार्जन करने का योग्य बनाए। शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में व्यावसायिक शिक्षा को जोड़ने का प्रथम प्रयास कोठारी आयोग 1964 ने किया। इस आयोग ने सरकार को माध्यमिक शिक्षा को व्यावसायिक का सुझाव दिया। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा का क्या है? व्यावसायिकरण के उद्देश्य और विशेषता एवं शिक्षा में इसकी आवश्यकता के संबंध में विस्तृत जानकारी प्राप्त करेंगे। अब तो सामान्यतः शिक्षा को व्यवसाय के साथ जोड़ने की व्यावसायिक शिक्षा कहलाती है, परंतु वास्तव में इसका अर्थ इससे अधिक व्यापक है। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा क्षेत्रों को व्यवसाय चुनने में एवं व्यवसाय संबंधित योग्यता प्राप्त करने का अवसर प्रदान करती है। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा की शुरुआत राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा आयोग 1964 से 66 के सुझाव द्वारा हुई, जिस आधार पर राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 1986 ने अपनी मंजूरी प्रदान की और यह शिक्षा का एक माध्यम बन गई। इसके आधार पर राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 1986 ने 1995 तक +2 कक्षा के 25 यानी कि 25% छात्रों को व्यावसायिक शिक्षा को से जोड़ने का लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा का विस्तार करते हुए तो इसे दूरस्थ शिक्षा भी सम्मिलित किया गया। तो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा क्या है, इसमें हम थोड़ा जानकारी प्राप्त करेंगे। भारत देश में छात्रों की व्यावसायिक शिक्षा प्रदान करने के लिए एक परिषद का निर्माण की बात कही गई, जो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा के क्रियात्मक एवं नीति निर्माण का योजना बनाए। इसी बात को ध्यान में रखते हुए केंद्र सरकार द्वारा संयुक्त व्यावसायिक शिक्षा परिषद यानी की स्थापना की गई। यह परिषद व्यावसायिक पाठ्यक्रम के निर्माण हेतु नीति का निर्माण करती है और उसके क्रियान्वयन हेतु विद्यालयों में मंजूरी प्रदान करती है। तो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा का विशेषण क्या है? तो यह छात्रों को समाज से जोड़ते हैं, यानी कि हम इस समाज से जुड़े हुए हैं, इसलिए हम छात्रों को समाज से जुड़ने के लिए एक कार्य का योगदान देते हुए इस पॉइंट को लिया गया है। या छात्रों को जीविकोपार्जन बनाने के लिए तो जन्मे व्यावसायिक कौशल्य की प्रवृत्ति का विकास करती है, यानी कि हर एक छात्र में कुछ न कुछ कौशल्य बनी रहती है। उसे उस प्रवृत्ति को विकास करने, उस प्रवृत्ति को हम प्रकट करते हुए उसको पहचान कर और विकास करने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं। और तीसरा, इसके द्वारा छात्रों को विद्यालय में क्रियाशील रखा जाता है। अगर हम बच्चों को कुछ कार्य दिया तो वो क्या करते हैं, बच्चे अपने कार्य में डूबे रहते हैं और कार्य भी सरल कर सकते हैं और कार्य में, स्कूल में और एजुकेशन में अपने आप को, मन को और तन को एक करते हुए जोड़ देते हैं, और इसका शारीरिक विकास भी तीव्र गति से होता है, और इससे वह अपने सामाजिक एवं पारिवारिक उत्तरदायित्व से परिचित हो जाते हैं। एक आने वाले जीवन में आगे बढ़कर सामाजिक जीवन में परिवर्तन, यानी कि ये आने वाले यानी कि जीवन परिवर्तन संभालना पड़ता है, बच्चों को देखना पड़ता है, कुछ कार्य करना पड़ता है। इस उत्तराधित्व को समझने के लिए इस कार्य करना बहुत अधिक है। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा द्वारा शिक्षा के वास्तविक उद्देश्य को मूर्त रूप से प्रदान किया जाता है। मूर्त यानी कि उसको सरल रूप से उसको समझाकर एक विचार रखा तो बच्चे क्या हो जाते हैं, अपने आप को इसमें संयोग कर देते हैं। व्यावसायिक शिक्षा के उद्देश्य और लक्ष्य, उसके लक्ष्य क्या है? छात्रों को व्यवसायिक बनाना जिससे वह समाज में सम्मान पूर्वक रहने योग्य बन सके। देखो यहाँ पे क्या हो जाता है, अब हर बच्चे एक ना एक काम में डूबे रहे तो समाज में अपने योगदान का करने के लिए एक सरल रूप से उनको एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिल जाता है। छात्रों में यानी कि जीवन उपार्जन करने के लिए दक्षता का विकास करना जिससे वह अपने पारिवारिक उत्तरदायित्वों का भली भांति निर्वाह कर सकते हैं। यानी कि उसके जीवन में यानी कि आने वाले जीवन में कुछ योगदान देने के लिए, भली भांति निर्वाह करने के लिए आगे बच्चे बढ़ सकते हैं। और राष्ट्र का विकास करना और सामाजिक परिवर्तन को सही दिशा में प्रदान करना, ये यानी कि हर बच्चों को राष्ट्र के बारे में, राष्ट्र के हित के बारे में और योगदान के बारे में तो अगर हम इस दिशा में बता दिया तो आने वाले दिन में उन्होंने भी अपने योगदान देने के लिए प्रखर हो जाते हैं। राष्ट्रीय आर्थिक संचालन को मजबूती प्रदान, आज हम देखते हैं भारत का हर एक मनुष्य, हर एक इंसान अपना योगदान दे रहे हैं। राष्ट्रीय आर्थिक संचालन को मजबूती प्रदान करने के लिए प्रति व्यक्ति आय में वृद्धि करता है, यानी कि अपने आप योगदान देने के लिए आगे बढ़ सके तो हमारा देश का जो संचालन मजबूती होगा। तो शिक्षा के विस्तार को बढ़ावा देना, तो ऐसे हो जाता है कि हर एजुकेशन के बारे में अट्रैक्शन भी हो जाता है, बच्चे अपने आप इस शिक्षा में एक अपने पात्र निभाने के लिए खुश हो जाता है। शिक्षा में व्यावसायिक शिक्षा की आवश्यकता और महत्व, किसी देश के विकास में उस देश की शैक्षिक व्यवस्था का बहुत अत्यधिक महत्व होता है। तो और अगर उस शिक्षा का मुख्य उद्देश्य छात्रों को व्यवसाय दिलाना और उनको जीविकोपार्जन योग्य बनाना हो तो उस देश का यह विकास निश्चित होता है। अगर हम बच्चों में इस व्यावसायिक प्रवृत्ति डाल दिया तो उस देश का यानी कि निश्चित रूप से विकास होने का संभव हो जाता है। शिक्षा अपनी वास्तविक उद्देश्यों और लक्ष्यों की प्राप्ति तभी कर सकती है जब वह शिक्षा व्यावसायिक शिक्षा हो। वर्तमान में शिक्षा की घटती गुणवत्ता को ध्यान में रखते हुए जरूरी है कि शिक्षा को पूर्णतः व्यावसायिक शिक्षा में परिवर्तित किया जाए। तो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा छात्रों को व्यवसाय चुनने में भी सहायता नहीं अपितु इसके द्वारा छात्रों का सर्वांगीण विकास भी किया जाता है। सिर्फ सोच नहीं, सोच विचार से आगे बढ़ सकता है, अपने कार्य में आगे बढ़ सकता है, तो समाज में अपने स्थान उन्नत कर सकता है। तो आधुनिक युग में बढ़ती जनसंख्या को ध्यान में रखते हुए आवश्यक है कि शिक्षा को छात्रों को अनुरूप बनाया जाए जिससे वह अपने वास्तविक उद्देश्य की प्राप्ति कर सकते हैं, एक मुकाम पे पहुंच सकते हैं। दोस्तों, आज हमने एक जाना कि व्यावसायिक शिक्षाओं को और इसकी विशेषता और उम्मीदों को आपके यानी कि अनेक बार हम जानते हैं कि और आगे बढ़ते हुए इस व्यावसायिक शिक्षा नीति में तो शिक्षा क्या हो जाता है बोले तो, हाँ, तो इस बात में ध्यान रखते हुए भारत की ज्यादातर आबादी युवा यानी कि 64% आबादी काम करने की यानी कि 15 से 59 वर्ष की उम्र सीमा के तहत आती है। ऐसे में एक बेहतर और पूरी तरह विचार के बाद व्यवसाय हमेशा एक ऐसी आवश्यकता रहती है जिसकी मांग कभी भी कम हो नहीं सकती। यहाँ तक कि सबसे बेहतर वक्त में भी भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था के लिए प्रशिक्षित लोगों को मांग को पूरा करने और समावेशी और संतुलित विकास में को लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने के लिए यह शिक्षा जरूरी है। जैसा कि नई दिल्ली यूनेस्को के निर्देशक एरिक प्लॉट्स का मत है कि इसमें दो राय नहीं है कि कोविड-19 महामारी ने स्वास्थ्य तो लेबर मार्केट के रोजगार और इस स्तर पर प्रभावित किया जो इससे पहले नहीं देखा गया। कहीं महीनों कोरोना महामारी तो वेकेशन एजुकेशन को ट्रेनिंग व्यवस्था की कमी भी उजागर किया गया। व्यक्तिगत यानी कि भारत ने प्रस्ताव के गंभीरता अध्ययन किया कि और रिपोर्ट पिछले दशक अल्पाइन ट्रेनिंग कोर्सेज शुरू किया करने की उठाए की, तो हालांकि इससे सरकार ने सबसे ज्यादा भूमिका नेशनल स्किल डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन और ट्रेनिंग प्रोवाइडेड एंड सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल की, जिसे 2008 में शुरू किया और जिससे ही रिपोर्ट रेखांकित करती है कि इस तरह के पाठ्यक्रम में सिर्फ औद्योगिक केंद्रों के लिए एंट्री लेवल के लिए जरूरतमंद कामगारों की आवश्यकता की पूरा कर पाता है। तो ऐसे आगे बढ़ते हुए तो इसमें शिक्षक का पात्र क्या होता है? हर तो एजुकेशन में शिक्षकों का पात्र क्या हो जाता है? अब हम इसके बारे में थोड़ा जानकारी प्राप्त करते हैं। सीखने और सिखाने की प्रक्रिया का परिवर्तन शिक्षकों का व्यावसायिक विकास नेतृत्व करता है। देखिए, सीखता है और सिखाता है। इस प्रक्रिया से हमें यही परिवर्तन हमें पता चलता है कि शिक्षक का व्यवसाय का विकास नेतृत्व करना एक महत्व एक स्थान है। अध्यापकों की शिक्षा के लिए राष्ट्रीय पट्टाचार्य की रूपरेखा व्यावसायिक और सर्वोदय शिक्षक तैयार करने के लिए तो नेशनल काउंसिल फॉर टीचर एजुकेशन 2009 में एक व्यावसायिक कार्यबल का विकास करने का महत्व पर जोर दिया। और व्यावसायिक विकास एक जीवन पर्यंत प्रक्रिया है। यह व्यावसायिक दक्षता का विकास करने का में मुख्य तत्व है। तो इसके लिए एक विद्यालय में प्रमुख रूप में आपकी भूमिका यानी कि शिक्षकों का भूमिका को अपने कार्य शिक्षा के व्यावसायिक विकास नेतृत्व में सुधार करने के लिए सक्षम करना अव्यक्त रूप में से शामिल होता है। यह काम सरल नहीं है क्योंकि इसमें कुछ बाधाएं भी आती है, आपके नियंत्रण में नहीं होती है कि तथापि आपके लिए विद्यालय में आधारित समर्थन रणनीतियों में माध्यम से शिक्षकों के प्रभाव को अधिकतम करने का अवसर उपलब्ध, जिन पर इस इकाई पर जोर दिया गया है। तो व्यवस्था दबाव और सामाजिक दबाव प्रभावी रहता है। इसका मतलब है कि परिवर्तन को संबोधित करने के लिए अध्यापन के तरीकों को और कौशलों को लगातार अध्ययन और विकास आवश्यक है। शिक्षकों का बदलाव की क्षमता से मुक्त होना अनिवार्य है। राष्ट्रीय पाठ्यक्रम रूपरेखा शैक्षणिक स्वप्न की हमारा
think due to some poor connectivity, we lost the connection with Dr. Malakappa. We'll wait for him to resume back.
Shivani madam, your voice is low.
Okay.
Hello?
I suppose due to some network connectivity, we've lost the connection with Dr.
he is back.
Malakappa.
He's back. He's back.
Okay.
हेलो
Hello.
हाँ सुनाई
Yes,
दे रहा है मैडम?
जी डॉक्टर साहब सुनाई दे रहा है
जी मैडम जी
जी
तो हाँ हाँ मैडम
तो
बात करूँ बोलो
डॉक्टर मलकप्पा, आप अभी आगे अपने विचार और व्यक्त करना चाहेंगे?
तो बोल सकता हूँ ना अभी सुनाई दे रहा है?
जी हमें
हाँ
सुनाई
जी,
दे रहा
हाँ
है।
जी,
आप
आगे बढ़
अगले
सकते हैं।
आप अगले 2 से 3 मिनट में आप अपने इसको कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं प्लीज।
जरूर मैडम
जी थैंक यू।
हाँ मैडम तो शिक्षकों को कौशल स्तर पर विकास की जरूरतों भिन्न होती है। उनकी अलग अलग अभिप्रेरणाओं को और विशेषताओं का मतलब यह भी होगा कि आपको उन्हें पीएलडी के साथ संलग्न होने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करते हैं तो अलग अलग तरीकों का उपयोग करना पड़ेगा। तो इसके मतलब यानी कि आने वाले दिन में हम शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में व्यावसायिक तो विषय एक कठिन आधारण तो है जिसका मतलब दोहराया जा सकते हैं कि प्रवृत्ति बनाम तकनीक होता है। विश्वसनीयता वास्तविक जीवन के प्रति निष्ठा प्रामाणिकता और उदारताओं के लिए सार्थकता शामिल हो सकते हैं। तो इतना कहते हुए मैं आज का जो अपनी वाणी को विराम देते हुए सभी को यहाँ पे रहते हुए मैं सब लोगों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ और एक बार नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 इस वेबिनार में कुछ शब्दों को मुझे कहने के लिए अवसर प्राप्त करने वाले यहाँ पे डॉक्टर शिवानी मैडम हो, प्रसाद जी हो और यहाँ पे रहने वाले सभी जो वक्ताधार सभी को मैं धन्यवाद देते हुए अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ और एक बार धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर मलकप्पा। आपसे आपके विचारों को जान के एनईपी के बारे में स्पेसिफिक खासकर जो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा की तरफ एनईपी नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने अपना एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाया है उसके बारे में जानकर बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ हमारे सभी श्रोताओं की भी जानकारी काफी बड़ी होगी आपसे इसके बारे में सुनकर और बहुत ही जो खास एक दो बिंदु जो मैंने पकड़े हैं आपकी वार्ता से वो ये है कि जो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा है उससे ना केवल एक विद्यार्थी अपनी जीविका के बारे में सीखता है अपितु वो समाज की तरफ भी अपने उत्तरदायित्व को अपने कर्तव्य को निभाने के लिए पूरी तरह से शिक्षा प्राप्त करता है और इस शिक्षा की प्रणाली को इस शिक्षा को प्राप्त करने के लिए शिक्षक का एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण अभिनय है और उसके लिए उसके स्किल्स को भी साथ साथ ही डेवलप करना बहुत जरूरी है। सो एक बार फिर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर मलकप्पा। नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू कॉल अपॉन रवि कुमार जी। रवि कुमार सर इज हियर विद अस एंड sir has been an army veteran. He has been carrying nearly 4.5 decades of experience as a telecom and radio engineer for 3 decades, and post which he has dedicated his service with utmost devotion in upskilling the rural and semi-urban folks in English language, communication and interpersonal skills, followed by employability skills, MS Office and career counseling. He is also an expertise in DFSI, retail, FMCG, automobile, mind mapping, SWOT, and many more domains. His delivery of training has brought him great accolades, especially in English language. career counseling and employability skill training, wherein more than 73% of success has been achieved by him. He has been members with various many organizations, to name a few: Secretary Association of Professional Trainers India, Chair Member International Association of Academics plus Corporate, that is IAAC, Director Training and Development with APOGEE Consulting and Training Services, LLP, and JobSkull Bhubaneswar. He is CAO and advisory board member with Rich Trainers Club, co-founder and VP with She Space India Association, which is a women empowerment organization in Pune. Sir knows no less than 8 languages. This is amazing. Sir, accolades for you. I mean, I really wish to acknowledge how I wonder I can learn ever these 8 languages: English, Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Punjabi, and Dogri. That's so very amazing of you, Ravi sir. So here I am sharing the platform to you for sharing your experience and sharing your words of wisdom. Sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shivani ma'am, and my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Snigdha ma'am and also our founder Piyush Pandit sir for providing me an opportunity here on this platform of IIU to view my few of my thought processes about the NEP, that is the National Education Policy 2020 of India. So, as I would like to enhance, and also I am very much grateful to both the earlier speakers, Rajendra Prasad sir as well as Dr. Malgappa sir, those who have enlightened us with so many insights about the NEP, especially on the professional education, that is PE. So, as with my experience and the knowledge, I would like to really second the processes that have been brought in the education policy of the nation, beginning post its independence from 1947. So in 1964, rightly like what Dr. Malgappa sir was saying, the first commission of education policy was commissioned. It was also named as Kothari Commission, which was in 1964. So those were the times when we were into schools and colleges and we graduated. So those times it was like 10 plus 1 plus 4 plus 5. So up to 10th standard it's 1, and then 1 year of intermediate, then 4 years of graduation, and then 5 years of professional education. This was the thing. And that was further modified in the second education policy that was introduced in India during 1986. So there, 10 plus 1 was converted into 10 plus 2. There was intermediate was for 2 years, that is 11th and 12th. And in many states, it is described in various forms like PDC in Kerala, PUC in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, elsewhere, so on and so forth. But the professional education, especially the engineering, was cut short by 1 year. Diploma was cut short by 1 year. So that which was for 4 years, it was cut short to 3 years, which was for 5 years engineering courses, that was cut short to 4 years. So actually that time what it happened was it actually segregated the professional education from the multidisciplinary system of education. That's what my personal feeling is. Because rightly like what Dr. Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, this multidisciplinary education, right? The multidisciplinary education in the sense a person who is into this professional education, and that profession should not be an isolated one, or it should not be a segregated one. An engineer, say for example, if I am an EC engineer, electronics and communication, or a software engineer into computer education, or whatever it is, they restrict themselves only to that much domain or only to that much vertical. Actually, that is where rightly, like I agree with Rajendra Prasad sir, where he was saying the knowledge, skill, value, and with that, I would like to add one more thing, that is the attitude. Because when the people were not able to find the value of their skills and knowledge, the attitude was developing in them. The reason being, you see, I am into engineering and I am into this, I am graded high. That discrimination started coming, but which is being overseen now in this professional education in NEP 2020. Because this multidisciplinary education is bringing in or collating all these things into this thing where a professional education means it will have your knowledge, that is the theoretical knowledge, as well as your practical knowledge. So one has to, that's where if you college these things, like ITIs or diploma, polytechnics or engineering colleges, or IIMs, all these things, college them, give opportunity for the students or for the wards to develop themselves, grow themselves, right? Let them explore what I want to become. That opportunity can be seen in 2020 professional education system as of now. Then this professional education is an integral part of higher education, however, but when it is an integral part of higher education, there are certain things which have been included to upgrade themselves. Rightly, like what Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, the agricultural education. It is less than 1%. The agricultural education in India is less than 1%. So now, if this agricultural education is being given as a professional education and given the prominence equivalent to the other categories of the professional education, like medical science or any other engineering or any technical these things, then because even in the agricultural education, technology is very important. When technology is collaborated or collaged with these sort of things, even the agricultural part in the nation will be much more better. And this also brings in that holistic education, what we are speaking about for all these days in the NEP. Right? Other than whatever the co-curricular or curricular or extracurricular activities or sports and games that are being inculcated to the students from grade 1 to grade 10 or grade 12. But the system of bringing in or giving the choice for the students to opt out for their area of interest to get their professionalism into, that would really enhance the child to get into multidisciplinary fields. If I doesn't get a job in an engineering, this thing, I can get a job with some other discipline in the same way. Because say, for example, I am a student into a higher education or in a professional education, I am doing a agricultural this thing and technology is included in that. I can really feel if I'm not able to get a job in the agricultural field, at least I can try out for a job in the technological field. This sort of progress will really enhance the Indian economy, rightly like what Dr. Malakappa sir was saying earlier, to strengthen the economy of the nation. This multidisciplinary education is very important. So this multidisciplinary education is being very much aptly provided in the NEP 2020. And along with this, the traditional education, what is the tradition of India? What is the culture of India, right? So in the previous webinars also, we have seen, we know what is EQ or what is IQ, but what is SQ? What is TQ? What is your traditional quotient? What is your social quotient? Can we improve upon that? You see, as all of us know that we lead three kinds of life every day in our life, right? One is our personal life, the other one is the professional life, the third one is the social life. But all the three are interlaced to one another. Only the thing is that how a person takes it into his or her consideration and leads it. makes a difference in each individual's way of living. But with these life skills being included in the very early stage of the schooling, and that continued education will enhance the student to opt out for the professional education also. From there itself, the budding disciplinary education system starts. And further continuing, if we talk much about this professional education in the NEP 2020, so the skill sets of the graduated students, rightly like what Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, every year, lakhs and lakhs of students gets graduated in many fields, whether it is professional or general graduation. Lakhs and lakhs of students gets graduated, only thousands get the opportunity to get a job. There is still there is a huge unemployability in India, and also it is not only the unemployability in India, we are seeing only one part of it. If we can look at the other side of this Indian economy and the Indian what do you call it as employability status, even there are lakhs and lakhs of posts are still lying vacant, not only in the government organizations, in almost all the private, public sector, MNCs and corporate offices. The reason being, people are not, these organizations are not able to pick the right skilled candidate over there. They are not able to fill in the skilled candidate. So this NEP 2020, this professional education is giving a right path to the wards to develop themselves into the multidisciplinary so that they will be skilled in multidisciplines, and it will really enhance the knowledge, skill, and also the value of the education for each and every student. Once a student understands the value of his or her education, in which stream they are into, what is its value, and if they try to pay back those values, then India will never be an unemployed country. It will challenge Germany, which is having 96% of employability, but it will challenge even Germany also. Only the thing is that we, the educators, the council, rightly in the previous sessions also we have heard that, we have discussed that every institution should have a counselor. Every institution, for every wing it should have a counselor. The counselor is the right person to counsel the ward to understand and make the child to understand which is the right option for the child to go and grow. And second, coming back to this legal education, the legal education needs to be very competitive globally. Rightly like what Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, now it is happening in bilingual. That is the regional language plus the English language. But I personally feel that if that legal education can be done into multilingualistic process, because the judges, the advocates, they move from one state to the another state. And if a person from a local, this thing is not able to communicate with the judge or the advocate who is from the other state in the language the advocate or the judge understands, and vice versa, that is where the legal process is getting delayed. If they give that chance for multilingualistic processes, this really professional education will itself make way to many parts and many things for clarifying this. And once this multidisciplinary education part is brought into this, even into legal education system also, rightly like what Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, it will reduce the time, space, and the gap of the justice that needs to be given, where the communication could be very clearly understood, and it enhances almost all the states and the center as well as, or the other parts of the country, including UTs and the other these things, this will really promote themselves into getting into this educational system. But doing this, who is responsible? We are talking about the professional education, only concerned with the technology or some other part. For making all these things to happen, we the educators, the teachers, what I mean to say, should unfold our umbrella into all the things, and we should get ourselves into that multidisciplinary system so that we will be able to bring in the budding wards of our country to the multidisciplinary education system, and we can make them much more professional in their career, and they can be much. I think Rajendra Professor wants to ask something.
Just add to it. I think we need more number of Ravi Kumars in the legal industry.
Thank you, sir.
And, yeah, as you rightly mentioned, I have one point here, sir, to add.
Yes, sir.
I think all of us know about the NASCOM.
Yeah.
NASSCY. NASCOM works only for IT industry.
Exactly.
NASCOM is the liaison between the consumer, the government, and the company. But why not that kind of thing is not for agriculture in India? Only unions are there, or some kind of, they will be coming on the road, they will be fighting, all these things are there. Why there is no such kind of huge organization which is feeding all of us? I think all of us know in the IT sector, in one company for one software product, who is one part of that software industry, one small fellow who is a software engineer, how he is respected and so on in the last 30 years. But a farmer who is feeding us, who is actually working the field, is not having the respect. Even if you, as Kumar sir was mentioning about the professional education and merging with etc., just adding another one line, where there is a construction, you need electrician, plumber, and so on. Do we respect them to say plumber? We suffer because in certain cities, plumbers are not there. Electrician. We have civil engineer, mechanical engineer, electronic engineer, who is not able to even change the switchboard also properly. But we need electrician. If one electrician is not there in one apartment, huge apartment, everybody will be looking at, shouting at. Just imagine how suffering. Now there are so many gadgets in the kitchen, or in the bedroom, or in the bathroom, or in the hall. You name, there are so many gadgets entering into all these areas, but to repair them, who will be doing? One professional only. But we have professional education is a different meaning, but these are treated in a different way. If it is a oven, who will repair it? Professional education. Even mobile or a stove, you name any kitchen gadget or AC, etc. How they are treated. Why these kind of small industries they can be taken. We have multi-purpose hospitals with all the organs. You name any organ, we have the hospital with the multi-specialty hospital. But why not we are having this kind of, with all these kind of disciplines in one place, one university? I submit, Ram Kumar.
Yeah, very true. Very nicely said, sir. Actually, looking at the other part of things, you see, if we can merge this professional education with the general education, or if you college that, it will really enhance each and every ward, those who are into that particular stream. You see, say for example, a legal student or an agricultural industry student, if he or she is not much given the education about the technology, he or she will not be able to reach the market. So this market-based is when the general education is given to them, this technology-based education is, if you give them the market education with this general education, you see, then they themselves can reach the market, which enhances their career, which upskills themselves. In the same way, wherever we go and see, rightly like our Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, NASSCOM is a legal entity between the government or the private sectors with concern to the IT industry. In the same way, in the financial sectors, right, we have got a couple of regulatory boards, but in the NEP, as we discussed a couple of days ago, few regulatory boards will be set up for the higher education, this thing. So for this higher education also, this regulatory boards plays a very important role, because even this professional education is a integral part of higher education, these regulatory boards, and taking the accreditation. Now, everything is taken for granted. Now, once these regulatory boards are framed and they are being brought into action or being implemented in the education system, that will really enhance the what do you call it as education to all, irrespective of whether a person is socially or economically weak or strong. That what do you call it as desegmentation or separation, or what do you call it as in other words, isolation should be removed. So now with this education system, but this also enhances or gives a broader way for the students of all the categories, whether is socially weak or economically weak, or is socially strong or economically strong, in one or the other field. Once this multidisciplinary education, rightly like what Rajendra Prasad was saying, if a student is weak in his studies, say if he scores 40% or 45% in 10th standard, that boy or girl would rather, instead of going for the intermediate, they will opt for either diploma or for the ITI industries. So that should be stopped. So that is where this NEP is planning at. You see, if you are into, once you come out of the 12th standard, you are into 11th standard, I mean, 4 years of education, in which the 4 years is split into 2 plus 2. 2 years, you will be getting a diploma certificate. So that where, and if you continue with that for the 4 years, then you will be getting a graduation certificate. So here, the education is not truncated. The education system continues. So whether economically backward or a socially backward child can take the diploma certificate, start earning by himself or herself, then concentrate, come back again, concentrate and continue the education, do higher educations, right? Doing masters, doctors, MPhils, PhDs, whatever. So that provision is being provided in this. So this is where the professional education in the NEP 2020 is really helping the nation to build its economy. And as I was saying, we as the educators unfold our umbrellas. We should be ready to learn. We should be ready to get trained in all the 360 degrees to impart this learning to the budding children of the nation. So with this, I thank Dr. Piyush sir, Dr. Snigdha, and all the members of IIU. And I am very much grateful to Dr. Rajendra Prasad sir and Dr. Malappa sir for giving such a wonderful insights on the professional education of NEP 2020, and also for such a wonderful inputs given by Dr. Shivani ma'am also. I thank one and all. Thanks to all the dignitaries of IIU. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Ravisa. It was indeed a pleasure hearing you. Of course, as you had mentioned about the multidisciplinary approach, as well as the multilingualism specifically in the legal area, I'm sure if all of this is practiced with complete ethics, in the entire ethos by all the educators, I'm sure India, as you mentioned, would beat Germany in terms of its employment percentage. It definitely is not going to be untrue at all. So looking forward and wishing all the educators, including myself, all the very best, that we all learn, unlearn, and relearn to skill our students right from the school, where the vocational courses are being introduced now as per the NEP guidelines, as well as a lot of work which is there going to be done in terms of the professional courses, all of that. I would like each one of you present here to share one message to for the educators and for the parents, please starting with Rajendra Prasad sir, followed by Dr. Malakappa and Ravi sir.
Suggestion to the students and parents. Students, I wish what courses they want to take is not in their hands. Very unfortunate. The parents are, they are emphasizing or forcing or enforcing the relatives, the neighbors, back house, front house, upper house. These are deciding the future of the student. They are not able to take the decision. Who is getting the good package becomes the trend of the course, and that is enforced on them. So students, when they are given the choice that this is my interest, up to 8th class, as we are exposing the children in the schools to all the types of club activities, all the musical instruments, and so on. In the same way, when all the disciplines are given, even the professional or the vocational courses put together, which area he is interested, and then later on, as Ravi Kumar sir mentioned, after 12th, they can choose their own path. This is my interest. This is where I want to do something great in future. Parents, the social status is one disadvantage in the country. IT industry, somebody is working and then he has gone to USA means that is a big family, great family, and lovable, and so many other adjectives. Whereas if there is a student in the house with ITI or studying anything, etc., there the difference is. This disparity should be removed unless and until we glorify these professional courses also, vocational courses also. Then only the parents and also the students will be comfortable to take the courses. The social status, social impact, society is enforcing. They are the big culprits on the children and the parents also. Unless until the government, neither state or the central, they are coming out that each and every discipline is important, whether it is vocational course and professional course. When these are glorified like MBBS and IIT, then social change will come. Children will be happier, parents will be also more happy. I hope I answered the question.
True that, sir. Completely, I agree with you that it's more of parents and neighbors' decision that is enforced upon the students. And I really wish that all the parents understand the importance of the interest that the child is in, because in case the parents let the children take up what they are really passionate in, I'm sure they would be much more happier and they'll be much more productive. Dr. Malakappa, please, अगर आप अपने विचार व्यक्त करेंगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगेगा for the educators, for the parents, for the students, जिनके लिए भी आप कुछ भी कहना चाहें.
जी मैम, क्या हो गया बोले तो मोबाइल का 18% ही बच गया अभी. बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, इसलिए मैं आने वाले दिन में हर बच्चों को अपने माता पिता एक कौशल यानी कि आने वाले जीवन में उनको कुछ ना कुछ करने के लिए, सिर्फ डिग्री हासिल करने के लिए नहीं, कुछ ना कुछ बढ़ने, आर्थिक व्यवस्था को बढ़ाने के लिए उनको सोच भी उस विद्यार्थियों में बढ़ने के लिए, माता पिता भी आगे बढ़ने के लिए मैं कुछ विचार आपने रखना चाहता हूँ.
Thank you so much, Dr. Malakappa. Ravi sir.
Yeah, very truly like what Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, I would say the students, the parents, and even the teachers and the so-called counselors, as I said, there should be a counselor from starting from standard 5 or 6 itself. The counselors should always guide the students, and even the parents and the students should always think that they should not come into the peer pressure from the external this thing, whatever the others are doing, because whenever they guide the students, they should not look at the current trend, what is in demand today. Because a student, when he is getting into 12th standard this year, will have his future 6 years later. So they have to look at that, what would be the trends after 6 years? What would be much better for me after 6 years? If I am getting into engineering course and I want to do CSE today, will my CSE exist after 5 years? So if it doesn't exist, if as all of us know, already the recession has already started in the IT field right now, right? So now there will be again unemployability being hiked in the nation. So this knowledge should be given to the students. See, my dear, you should plan your career or education. You pick your stream, which is after you finish your education, which will be in demand, right? So now, as per the current trend and as per the current survey that I read across in one of these things, in the next 5 years, IT demand is going to drop down erratically, and the pickup of automobile engineering, mechanical engineering, and civil engineering are going to get hiked up. So we have to look at the thing. I mean, next, what would be the trend after 5 or 6 years? Based on that, we should counsel the students and also the parents. Not only the students require the counseling, even the parents also require counseling. Because even the parents will be with their external pressure only. They will be saying, "Mera chacha ka beta medicine kiya, to mera beta bhi medicine kar de." This is what the trend is. That trend should be actually totally eliminated, right? And rightly like what
Absolutely bang on, sir. Absolutely bang on.
and rightly like what Rajendra Prasad sir was saying, that disparity or the discrimination should be totally abolished in the education system. Only then the education system will really survive, and it will have its actual value, and it will have the value of its definition of education. That's what I would like to tell to all the students and the parents. Plan after the graduation of your ward, not when the child is getting into the stream of graduation. Get him the course or get her the course which should be in demand by the time the child completes the education. So that is my piece of advice to all the parents and children. Thank you so much for giving.
Thank you so very much, Ravi sir. In fact, this was, such a worthy session to be attended, and I'm sure all our viewers are taking back some good piece of advice from the session. Here, I, Dr. Shivai, Principal, HRM Global School, Delhi. I'm a passionate educator, especially in the field of life skills, design thinking, and sustainable development. Extend my gratitude on behalf of International Internship University to Rajendra Prasad sir, Dr. Malakappa sir, and Ravi Kumar sir for sharing their insights about the professional education with all of us. I also take the opportunity to thank the founder, IIU, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, for creating this wonderful platform of the NEP series. Dr. Snigdha and the entire team of IIU. Thank you so very much for being present here and sharing all your insights. It was such a wonderful session. And the pleasure is all mine to moderate the wonderful panelists. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Dr. Shivani madam.
Good
Thank you,
evening.
everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Signa madam and Dr. Piyush. Thank you so much.
Everybody,
Thank you
please
all.
stay healthy.
Thank you, IIU.
Take care.
धन्यवाद.